Hey there, hackers and tech enthusiasts. Today we are diving into one of the most powerful tools in the cybersecurity arsenal, Metasploit. Whether you are a penetration tester or just curious about how security testing works, this is packed with information about payloads, exploit, auxiliaries, and some most known commands. And stick around because I will show you a practical example at the end of this video. So let's get started. So basically this video is totally focused on the cybersecurity framework Metasploit, which is a powerful combination of multiple tools, payloads, auxiliaries and exploits, which we're gonna see in this video. But before diving into the actual content of this video, here is a quick disclaimer. This video is only for educational purposes only. All contents are provided in this video is meant for educational purposes only. All the tactics, techniques and methodologies which I have described in this video with practical examples are inside my isolated lab environment. I have my own environment. I attacked on my own machine. So don't try to harm anybody's system or network. Never use Metasploit or any kind of similar tools for unauthorized activities. It's illegal and unethical. Whether you are a beginner or looking to expand your cybersecurity skills, this video will give you a solid foundation in using Metasploit responsibly. So let's ready to master Metasploit. Let's get started. So let us first understand what a Metasploit is and basically what is a Metasploit. So basically Metasploit is a framework designed for penetration testing, offering a vast collection of tools that make it easier to discover, exploit and demonstrate vulnerabilities. It is widely used by ethical hackers and security professionals around the globe. So especially and generally the Metasploit is not a single tool. It is basically a combination of or you can say is a collection of multiple tools which is often considered as a Metasploit framework. That's why it is called a framework, not specifically as a tool. So in our practical part of this video, we will see these things in details and we will see these things in practically how you can apply this in real world or in your cybersecurity and ethical hacking journey. Before diving into that, you have to understand some of the theories and concepts related to Metasploit, which I am describing now. So the next thing is the exploit. So have you ever heard about exploit? What an exploit is? So what are exploit? Think of exploit as a code or technique that takes advantage of a vulnerability in a system. Metasploit has an extensive library of pre-built exploit covering a wide range of software and services. For example, you might find exploiting target or older version of Windows or web server applications. These exploits act as a gateway of gaining unauthorized access. So simply exploit it is nothing, just is it's a code of or you can say is a piece of code which basically takes the advantage of a particular vulnerability or a loophole. Another thing you have to understand before learning Metasploit is the payload. Do you know what the definition of a payload is? Now, once you have exploited a vulnerability, what do you want to achieve? That's where payloads come in. Payloads are the code that runs on the target system after exploitation. Metasploit give you a various options like a meterpreter, reverse shell, bind shell. We will discuss these things in details now. So so now you have understood what a payload is. A payload is the specially designed code to gain unauthorized access into a system after exploitation. So basically Metasploit has different types of terms like a meterpreter, reverse shell and bind shell. So basically a meterpreter is a powerful interactive shell for post exploitation. I think you have ever heard about post-exploitation phase. That is a chain of, or you can say the step-by-step methodology of any kind of penetration testing process. The first one is reconnaissance, then scanning, then after exploitation, then post-exploitation. These kinds of things are there. So the number two is the reverse shell. This gives you a remote access to a target system. After gaining initial access to the target, you have to establish a reverse shell to back to your attacking machine. That's how you get that. Number three is the bind shell. It is the similar to reverse shell, but the target machine listens for a connection. It is just the alternative of the reverse shell. There is a simple difference between the reverse shell and the bind shell is that only in the reverse shell connection, the attacker machine listen for a active connection and the victim machine send the connection back to the attacker machine. But in the bind shell, it is the reverse of the where the attacker machine sends the connection and the victim machine listen. And yes, you can even craft custom payloads for specific needs. So when we will start our practical live example, then you might find there are some kind of auxiliaries are there. So what an auxiliary is? So apart from exploits and payloads, Metasploit has a category called auxiliaries. These are non-exploit tools used for tasks like scanning networks, enumerating services, performing brute force attack. For instance, you could use an auxiliary module to test the strength of a service's login credential. So, if we go to understand auxiliaries in simple terms, then auxiliary is a kind of specific program which basically checks whether a specific vulnerability exists or not, or it can be used for a deeper enumeration into the target system. So now I think you have understood the essential theory part related to Metasploit. So it is the time now to go over some essential Metasploit command to get you started. So the number one first command is the MSF console, and this basically used to start the Metasploit console. Number two is the search command. It basically used to find modules related to a particular target or exploit. Number three, use. Use command is basically used to load a specific exploit, payload or auxiliaries. Number four is the show option. This option is used to display the settings you need to configure. Number 5 is the set option and their value. It basically used to assign values to the option. And then at the last there is this single command which is exploit or run. It basically used for the same purpose, but there is a different command which is exploit and run. These are two different commands, but the purpose is same. It basically execute the particular module or the exploit on the target system. So alright, now you have understood what a Metasploit is and what are the basic features of a Metasploit and why it is used in cybersecurity, in ethical hacking, in penetration testing. So now it's the time to get some practical examples of over here. So I am opening my virtual VMware. You can see here I am just testing on my own virtual lab environment, on virtual vulnerable lab environment, which is I have installed is here, which is Metasploitable 3. This is a vulnerable machine. You can download it from online from internet, and you can set it on your virtual lab environment. After that you can test on it as because it is your own lab environment and it doesn't require any permission to scan. So let's start it. So finally, as you can see here, I have booted up my Kali Linux hacking operating system, and here is my terminal over here. Let me jump to the okay, so let me check my IP address over here. What is my IP address, which is you can see here 192.168.159.128. This is my ETH0 interface IP address. And open Metasploit here. You have to type the command as we have learned in our theory session, which is MSF console, MSF console, and hit enter. And just wait few seconds. It will pop up the banner of Metasploit. So as you can see here, our Metasploit framework is now loading on our terminal. So you have to just keep patience over here. And you can see here, this is our basic interface of Metasploit, and this is the version which I am running, which is version 6.4.20 dev. If you don't have Metasploit installed on your system, then you can install it from apt by typing apt install Metasploit framework. Sorry, you have to become root for this action. I am hitting my password and hitting enter. After hitting it, as I already have Metasploit installed on my system, it is now upgrading it. So I don't need to upgrade this right now. So I am just quitting it. You can do it if you needed. So, but must remember that before installing these kinds of tool, you have to update your repository by typing sudo apt get update like this, and after that you can download any kind of tools such as Metasploit. But I think if you have hacking operating system like Kali Linux and ParaTOS installed on like me, then you don't need to install these kind of tools like Metasploit manually, as because these operating systems are designed specifically for hacking purposes. So it has pre-installed on it, so you don't need to do that. But if you are using any other distro of Linux, then you might need to do it. So here it is the process I have described below. So now let's come to our Metasploit. So as you can see here, this is our Metasploit basic interface. But as we have discussed in our theory session, you need to have a target IP address to test on. So here is my Metasploitable 3 machine. I think it didn't boot it up right now. Let me give it some time. Okay, just have to wait. Okay, I think let me give it some time to boot up, and let us cover what we have learned in our theory session, and let us do some practical example over here. So there was a command on our theory session, which is search. Basically this command is used to search for specific types of exploits, or you can say specific payloads or specific auxiliaries. So for example, if I search using the search command, search for FTP and hit enter, then you can see here there are lots of, and there are too many payloads, auxiliaries, exploits over here, which are designed for different purpose, and according to your compatibility, according to your target architecture operating system, you need to find the best payload and the appropriate exploit for your target. It might be different in every scenario. So there are thousands of exploits, payloads and auxiliaries over here, but you have to find the specific exact payload compatible with your target. So finally, as you can see over here, our Metasploitable 3 vulnerable machine has been booted now. Now let me check the IP address of our target operating system by typing ifconfig command. And you can see this is our target operating system's IP address 10.10.206.218. So let us back to our terminal over here. Let us first check the connectivity to our target. 10.10, what was that? 10.10.206.218. 206.218. And you can see here we are successfully pinging to our target operating system. So let us just jump into another terminal over here, and here I will start a basic Nmap port scan over here by typing nmap -v and then the IP address, after that service and version. If you don't know why I am doing this or how I am doing this, how I am using the Metasploit tool, so you can jump over to our previous video. We have discussed about the Nmap tool in detail. There was a part 1 and part 2 video about Nmap tool. You can go for it. So let us wait for the Nmap scan result. So as you can see over here, our Nmap scan result is now on the screen. and you can see there is a port which is FTP, or let us just wait. This is at port 21, and it doesn't reveal the actual service whether it is FTP or not, but we are considering it as a FTP. As we know, the port 21 is used for FTP, so we will assume that this port 21 is hosting a service which is FTP service. So we will let us go to our Metasploit over here, and I will use a auxiliary first, which is the auxiliary scanner FTP and FTP login, and hit enter. After hitting enter, you have to type a command show options, and it will list several options, but you don't need to set all of the option over here. Just focus on the required yes option, required column, and inside the required column, those option which has the yes value set, you have to just set the value of that only. So there is a basically main option which is R host, which basically stands for remote host, which is basically the IP address of your target. So for right now, I am entering I am setting the R host value by using the command set R host address of my victim machine, which is this, and I will paste over here and hit enter, and then I will use again the show option command to see whether our host value has been changed or not. And you can see over here our remote host IP address has been tampered now, and the port is 21, and I don't think I have to set any other option right now. So let us just run this auxiliary first by hitting the command run, or you can use the command exploit exploit has been completed, or the auxiliary module execution has been completed. So as because this target is not vulnerable to this exploit or this auxiliary, so it is showing that the invalid credential cannot be blank. Okay, I haven't specified the credential file over here to brute force. It is basically used for brute forcing a FTP service, so I have to specify the password over here. That's why it is showing error. So let me just specify the password. So I have to first specify the username of our target operating system, which is in my and hit enter, and I have set my username over here. And now for the brute forcing purpose, I have to specify the password file list by setting the option pass file. So let us change the value of the pass file variable, set pass file, and I will path of the world list path of my rocky.txt, which is under the user, I think usr user share world lists, then rocky.txt. Let me just ensure that whether this path is correct or not. So let me just copy it. Okay, I have copied it and hit enter. Yeah, this is the actual path. So I'm hitting enter, and after that I have to now tell the Metasploit framework or the Metasploit tool to stop the process of brute force whenever you found the actual credential. So there is a variable which is stop on success, which has the value of false right now. So I have to change it to true. So set the variable name and hit enter. Now I'm the multiple credentials to brute force the FTP service on our target machine basically, and whenever it found the exact credential and it will basically stop the execution of the brute force process, and it will show us to the exact credential or the password for the FTP user vagrant. So let us just wait. So as you can see over here, our Metasploit tool now has cracked the password of the vagrant user or the FTP service using the auxiliary to brute force into the FTP service, which is the as you can see over here, this is the username and the password. So let us now manually ensure whether this is correct or not. So let me jump to the another terminal over here, and here I will type the FTP and then the IP address of our target, which was what was that? Yeah, this is our IP address, and after that I have to specify it, and here it is asking for our username, which was vagrant, and the password, which is same, and hit enter. And you can see over here we have successfully logged in user as a vagrant into the FTP file system, and I can do all the things which a FTP user can do over here. And it basically depends on the attacker's mood. So basically here is how we can use the Metasploit tool in an effective way. For this video I have explained by using a single auxiliary to brute force a FTP service, and we got the credential over here, and we have successfully logged into the FTP service. But you can use it for this tool is for different purpose according to your requirement, according to your attacking scenario, and according to your attacking methodology. You can apply it by using different kinds of exploit, different kinds of payloads. There is a separate part of Metasploit which is called MSF Venom, which is specifically designed for generating different kinds of payloads. There is a third which is called a fully undetectable payload. You can encode it using different kinds of algorithms and encoding schemes, but it basically totally depends upon you how you use it. But always remember, do it on your own lab environment or the system where you have permission to test, because it is totally illegal if you perform these kinds of action over a publicly available system or someone's to harm their system. So it depends on you, and you are only responsible for these kinds of activity. So that's it. Here it was a quick example of Metasploit, how you can use it to different kinds of attack scenario. So if you need a fully detailed video on Metasploit, then just comment down below. I will make separate videos on your demanded topics. So that's it, with a practical demo of Metasploit. So if you find this video helpful, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more cybersecurity content. Drop your question in the comment section below and let me know of what topic you would like me to cover next. Until then, stay safe, stay ethical, and keep your hacking responsibly.